Let's go over anaphylaxis. We know that anaphylaxis is a severe and life-threatening allergic reaction in which the immune system overreacts to an allergen, triggering the release of inflammatory mediators. This is what leads to all the deadly things with anaphylaxis because it's going to lead to bronchoconstriction, which translates as airway narrowing and respiratory distress, and vasodilation and capillary leakage. So you're going to get a low blood pressure and potential cardiovascular collapse. These two things, these three things are going to be what make anaphylaxis extremely deadly. The airway narrowing, respiratory distress because of the bronchoconstriction, and then the low blood pressure and cardiovascular collapse from the vasodilation and the capillary leakage. So for nursing recognition, we have to watch for signs of respiratory and cardiovascular compromise. As soon as these patients come in, you're immediately thinking of angioedema, swelling of the lips, tongue, and face. You're thinking of hives and itchiness, shortness of breath, wheezing, stridor, and of course tachycardia, hypotension, dizziness, and syncope. The main symptoms, however, are going to be the angioedema, the shortness of breath, wheezing, and that hypotension. The angioedema is because the airway is closing. We need to act immediately and get the appropriate interventions on board. So this patient needs to get prioritized so that they can have the treatment to help decrease the angioedema. For the shortness of breath and wheezing, we know that the bronchoconstriction is happening. Again, the airway is closing. We need to get the interventions, which we're going to discuss in a little bit. The hypotension, again, it's going to lead to that cardiovascular collapse, and we need to prioritize them. Now, let's go into the management before we go back to the triggers and what questions to ask. So, we're going to remove the allergen if possible, right? We're going to support the ABCs, airway, breathing, circulation. But the main first line treatment that the providers are going to order is that epinephrine. It's typically going to be intramuscular epinephrine via an EpiPen. It's going to be the most common early intervention ordered. It may escalate to IV epinephrine for severe or refractory cases, but the first initial intervention that you need to prioritize is the intramuscular epinephrine because that's directly going to address the bronchoconstriction occurring because you know that epinephrine has bronchodilation properties, so it's going to affect the bronchoconstriction. It's going to affect the vasodilation and capillary leakage because you know that epinephrine has beta 1, beta 2, and alpha agonist properties. And so it's going to lead to bronchodilation. It's going to help the heart rate contract better, and it's going to help clamp everything up. So all of that addresses all of the things going on with anaphylaxis. Now, besides the epinephrine, you also have supportive measures. But remember, the epinephrine is the most important first key intervention. That once the provider orders it, you need to prioritize getting that on board. The other things are going to be the oxygen and IV fluids, right? The oxygen, because if your patient is getting hypoxic and their airways are closing, they're wheezing, getting oxygen and oxygen reserve on board is going to be crucial. IV fluids, specifically if they're becoming hypotensive, is crucial as well. You also have other medications like diphenhydramine, H2 blockers. These are going to help with more of the symptoms like the itchiness and hives or patient comfort. The steroid is going to help prevent that inflammation that occurs and prevent that secondary allergic reaction that can happen. And the albuterol, of course, for bronchospasm, because we know the patients can start wheezing from this. Just to again say, epinephrine is going to be the first medication that you must prioritize in these patients. And then be prepared for airway intervention if needed. Early intubation may be ordered by the providers, right? And they're going to be the ones doing it, but they're going to decide to go on early intubation if the airway is just rapidly closing. We give the epi, but the patient is still having difficulty breathing. The angioedema is not coming down. They may choose to intubate early on because if we allow it to progress, the airway will just get more, it will just narrow, get close up further, which will make it harder to intubate later on. So they may choose early intubation if necessary, if the patient's symptoms aren't subsiding, so that the intubation isn't unsuccessful later on if they wait, right? And for whatever reason, if the patient can't get intubated, there's always emergency cricothyrotomy. And just be aware this may be something that happens in those severe anaphylaxis patients with severe airway swelling. Now, let's go back to the common triggers, right? Common triggers are going to include food allergies, medications, IV contrast, insect stings, and even blood transfusions. That's why it's important for you to be mindful of anaphylaxis and the interventions performed, because it doesn't mean that it's just going to be a patient coming in from the field. Typically, it is a patient got a bee sting and they're coming in for anaphylaxis. You're doing all of these interventions, but it can be somebody that just came back from CT. They just got contrast for the first time ever, and now they're anaphylaxis, right? Or you just gave penicillin for whatever reason that led to the reaction, and now you're having to do all of these things, right? Even with the blood transfusions. Although I haven't had an anaphylactic reaction from a transfusion just yet, but just know that it can happen. So it's important for you to know the presentation plus what the most important parts of the management are so that you can better anticipate and better prioritize and better implement them. Now, the key questions that you must ask, if possible, right, when these patients come in, they may not be able to speak from all the airway closing, so you're going to prioritize the interventions. But key questions can include what triggered the reaction, any known allergies in the past, has this happened to you before? A key question, if possible, have they ever needed to be intubated in the past? If they have, this is a big red flag letting you know, hey, we need to prioritize a lot of the key medications, a lot of the key interventions like the epinephrine as to prevent the intubation, right? Because if it worsens, it can even lead to a cricothyrotomy if the providers are unsuccessful. Were there any new medications started recently? And then if epinephrine was already given and how long ago? Because let's say somebody in the field gave the epinephrine, it's been 5-10 minutes. The patient is still hypotensive. They're still wheezing. They still have a little bit of angioedema. The providers may then choose to give a second round of the intramuscular epinephrine, right? Just because we gave it, we're still going to keep monitoring because we can always redose and give additional dosages if the symptoms are still perfusing, if the patient is still in anaphylactic shock. A lot of the times, a lot of new nurses will think, oh, okay, well, the angioedema is better, but the patient is still extremely hypotensive. The providers, of course, may order IV fluids, but they may also choose to do another dose of the intramuscular epinephrine to help with that circulatory, that cardiovascular compromise that is still occurring. So again, just to summarize, anaphylaxis is a severe life-threatening allergic reaction in which the immune system overreacts to an allergen, triggering the release of inflammatory mediators. This leads to bronchoconstriction, airway narrowing, and respiratory distress, vasodilation, and capillary leakage, which leads to low blood pressure and potential cardiovascular collapse. The key signs we're watching out for: the angioedema, the shortness of breath, wheezing, stridor, the tachycardia, hypotension. With the angioedema, shortness of breath, wheezing, and hypotension being key, as soon as you recognize this, you prioritize these patients. Common triggers include food allergies, medications, IV contrast, insect stings, blood transfusions. The key questions are here. The nursing essentials, of course, remove the allergen if possible, support the airway, breathing, circulation, the ABCs. Understanding that epinephrine is the first line treatment that should be prioritized with these patients. It's typically going to be intramuscular epinephrine. Supportive measures are going to be oxygen and IV fluids, diphenhydramine, H2 blocker, steroid, and albuterol. And be prepared just in case the providers are choosing for an early intubation. And of course, closely monitor after all the interventions to ensure they're working. And if they're not, if the patient needs a repeat, that you're clearly and concisely communicating to the team, to the provider, so they can perhaps order more additional interventions.